Got like 3 hours of sleep last night too, so that wasn't very productive either.
Studying film, I get it. You know,
But
you got stuff you got to do. I understand
it is. I just. What am I doing to myself? Really, really, what am I
it.
doing to myself? Why do I put
You
myself
get
through this?
you got to put a book together. You know, the Simple Coach Learnings.
Yeah, yeah. Don't watch more soccer games than your brain can possibly handle.
Because it clearly doesn't help you determine who's going to win it.
Win. Like I said,
As we will see.
I suck. I just downright suck. Like I'm actually at a point. I am so low in the totem pole. I'm actually thinking like, man, it would be cool to be last. And what do I got to do to be last? Like legitimately, how do I guess the opposite? How do I do opposite world here in everything?
So great question. I guess out of people who have participated 3 weeks, because
Mm,
some people come and go, the lowest score over 3 weeks is D3 Dad, 60 points. And then it's
yes.
Simple Coach at 65 points.
I don't know that guy. That guy,
Yeah,
yeah, I hear he's annoying. Thinks he know
he's
thinks he knows it all. And look at the proof's in the pudding.
he's not doing well.
No.
I don't know who this guy is, but he's
That's
not
right.
doing
You know
well.
what's even worse? You just hurt me even more. Like you wounded me there cuz I just realized like yeah, I have participating in all 3 weeks. I am second to last.
65, yeah. And you've got Yoder, what is it? Yodir, I can't read. My
Yodery?
Yodiri 84.
Yeah.
She's only played twice and is at
Yeah.
70 points. They're
And
ahead of
still
you.
beats me. Like
Scud,
it's good.
80 points from two
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
D3 Ma, 85 points on 3 weeks.
Oh, I got to.
Nutmeg, 43,
Yeah.
85 points on 2 weeks. Too short and too slow, 90 points on 2 weeks. Oh, here's a banger from North Carolina with Love. 95 points on 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
45 and a 50. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Well, why
But
must you wound me?
yeah,
All right,
but
Eric.
cross it
Hey.
for fun.
Yeah. CrossFit for fun. And
Cross it for fun.
Cookie's still hanging
Cookie's still
tough.
hanging in there. Cookie's hanging
He's-
in there. Down,
um,
down.
Eric, great to see you
Yeah,
again. Happy Sunday. Happy post games.
a lot of good games this weekend. A lot of
Yeah, yeah.
excitement.
All right, so
A
let's
lot of
jump right
excitement.
into it. We were obviously talking about the rankings, which I'll figure out a way to show. I mean, I could do this. How about this? Let me do
Yeah, I mean,
something.
so as you're trying something out as quickly, CrossFit for Fun 165, Soccer FD 3 Soccer 150. Yeah.
Yep.
Urbana number 17 145, Cookie 135, FC
Yeah.
Grizzlies Grad 130. And again, we still get to drop 1 week. So
Wait.
I'm at
The bad
120.
week?
Yeah, you get to drop a bad week.
Can we drop 3 bad weeks?
For you, yes.
Yes. There's a
So
special
you're at so you're
dispensation.
at zero.
Yes. Which is still worse than anyone else at any different level.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
I'll hit
Oh,
one. I'm just like I I'm that horse that sits deep in the Kentucky Derby and just waits and waits and waits for the opening. I'm waiting for that. I'm just like, and I go,
oh,
and that's
I
what
thought you were
I'm
gonna.
waiting
I
for.
thought you were gonna say you're the horse that we have to shoot because it just can't compete.
They bring out the truck and they
Right,
like block it
tarp
every
around. Yeah,
tarp around. Yeah, yeah. I have a tarp around me. That's for sure. That is a definite. Like that is for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. But you know what's pretty cool too? Like in the whole, we have had 58 people that have jumped in to one degree or another, and I'm
That's
okay.
awesome.
Like that's pretty cool. Like seeing
Yeah,
people jump in. Who knows?
that's
Maybe
awesome.
I'm curious about the guys the folks who don't do it every week. Maybe it was a game that sort of like pulled them in, right? Like their team or something. I
Well,
don't know.
there's some common names that just didn't compete this week.
Yeah.
Life got in the way probably.
Yeah.
Didn't get in a time
Yeah.
and are probably kicking
Yeah.
themselves. Some people who we normally expect to see just
Yeah.
didn't show up. Overall, though, the Beehive did well this week. We only
Yeah.
missed 3 games as a group.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow, that is
we
interesting.
the misses
And I didn't
were
think it was an easy week.
no.
You know, like you know what I mean. Like it was just sort of like there are too many questions. The teams are too equally stacked. There was the one game, which is all score. What was the last game? Can't remember. It was the last game we went through. Um,
The Catholic CNU.
yeah, that we were kind of like iffy on the score on that one, like what it would look like. But
So my favorite, I for next week I had I had St. Lawrence originally playing. I forget who they're playing. I had it in, and then I took it out because I'm like, nah, I don't want to put it in yet. I'll get them later. So I took it out. But it's so funny because do you remember when we were talking about the St. Lawrence guys and we talked about them
y-
tying Oneonta
yeah,
and I my comment was something like, well, we're going to hear about some freshman center back who's going to be a future All American. Did you read the comment on the board? They're
I
talking
didn't.
about the freshman center back who looks good. I'm like, I called it. I called it. They found their man.
Hope springs eternal for St. Lawrence fans.
They were great. They're like, you know what? This kid's looking good after a couple of
Uh,
games, and I look like,
uh,
oh, I wonder who this is. I look it up. Freshman center back.
Freshman center back. And next thing you know,
Funny.
captain midfielder.
Yeah, there you go.
And
Best
then because
best
they
best
have the
recruit
pipeline.
since aught
Yeah.
four, right?
The hot
Yeah.
four. Yeah. And- yeah, that's
But
great.
yeah, so as a whole, we did good. We missed the as a group, we missed the ONU Colorado game. That was a draw, which was only 27%. We missed the Williams Amherst game, obviously, because nobody picked. We had 13% on Williams.
Did you watch that game? Did you
I,
get a
I,
chance?
I, I can't watch Amherst, so I don't know. No, I didn't.
You can't watch Hammers.
I.
Um,
It's just not.
Well,
I
you
don't
know what?
enjoy watching them play.
I watched so that you wouldn't have to watch Amherst or Williams, which is, if there was, are you like into like weird? Do you remember that show by that was narrated by Leonard Nimoy, and it was all about the weird things in the world, and he would.
Mm,
Uh,
no.
anyhow, this is like a 70s, 80s show, and he would do like an episode on the mysteries of the pyramids, and
Okay.
they do all this range of topics. And there's one like the center of the universe is in like Sedona, Arizona, and it's like that's where everything converges, all the energy and whatever. And he went into a show like that, and it got me thinking like the Williams this weekend was the center of like the vortex of where soccer goes to die, and I
I get.
yeah
I don't know. I don't have a dog in the NESCAC race, so I don't have strong opinions on it. And I like the Amherst coach as a person. I think the
yeah
antics are a little over the top, but I just don't enjoy watching them play.
yeah
Like I've
you know
seen them play. Come tournament time, I watch, but I just don't. It's not fun for me. And since I don't have a dog in the race, I don't really care.
One of
So
the
I don't watch. So I
great
don't watch them.
guys, one of the great guys on the boards that I've interacted with is Enmore Cat, whose son is on the
Yeah,
team, and
yeah,
him and
yeah.
I have gone back and forth on a number of occasions. And he, I will say, they are a much more capable, better team than you realize at
Oh,
first
they're
glance.
so
So
talented. There's
good
no question
in the
about it. Like
final
if they wanted to
third. If
play,
they wanted to play, and that I think is what hurts the most for me is like I would love to see those guys play, like
right?
really, and sometimes it just doesn't look like I. It's terrible because I started thinking of stats, so I want to come up with a stat to judge like how often the ball is in the air being headed because I
Hmm.
thought there was a stretch where it was like ping pong going back and forth and they were just heading and it was just kind of like what am I
Yeah.
watching here? And
Hmm.
Williams was look, I bust on Amherst probably because of I love some of the guys that jump on. Like I said, Enmore is just fantastic.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But Williams is. I mean, what they do is egregious. Like like to me, it's just egregious. So
Yeah,
I'll just leave it at that. Because okay, hate
it's
mail's
tough.
coming one way or the other. I'm not
It
going to win
is.
this one.
It's gonna come, yeah, and it's just not my cup of tea. I just don't
Yeah,
enjoy watching NESCAC games. I
yeah,
like the competitiveness of it, but I watched a little bit of the Tufts con game today.
yeah.
Um, I mean, okay, interesting for a short period of time, but then like,
They
just
just know
wasn't.
each
Like I said,
other. I hate to say
yeah,
it. Like you look at Tufts Con, Amherst. Up there, say you throw in Middlebury in there. Obviously, they all know each other. Like
right,
the top half of the table knows each other so well that they know exactly sort of
yeah,
how to destroy each other, and so they do this mutually assured destruction thing, which is what you end up with. You just sort of
yeah.
watch games and you're like, okay, and that's not taking away at how good they can be. Like all these teams, right? Like
Oh yeah. Oh,
again,
they
they
got
step
they
out of
got
the NESCAC and they look like some of the best teams in the country, without a
they've got
doubt. But
they've got phenomenal talent every year.
yeah,
I mean, there's no
yeah,
question about it. They're bringing kids that know how to play the game, and
yeah,
it's I'm sure. Well, we won't. We could talk about this forever, but it's just different than
yeah,
probably what those kids are used to.
yeah, yeah.
So,
All right,
but
where do we
but
go?
yeah, that was a good game though. I guess
Yeah,
Williams
yeah,
wins 1-0. That's big, big exciting
yeah,
finish there.
yeah,
All right, so you want to talk about what's coming up?
yeah. Let's do that.
All right, let's talk about what's coming up. Friday, we got.
This is a good one.
I've got
That's a good one. You're throwing it down this week, I
I've got
think.
two Friday games.
Yeah.
First Friday game, Colorado College at CNU.
Mm-hmm.
So Colorado had a great weekend. They drew with Ohio Northern, and then they beat Emory. So that's good for them. And then Christopher Newport, they just had two identical 2-0 wins. They beat Rutgers Camden, Rutgers Camden, and then Catholic. Both beat them both 2-0. So you've got a very good Colorado team, as we know, and now you've got a 4-0-2 CNU team that's home again. This is going to be a good game, another good game.
Um,
You're
I
not
have to
high
say
on
this.
you're not high
This
on CNU. I get it.
I, I am. I am. I'm not going to say I'm high on them. I'm high on Colorado. I think they look really
Right,
good.
right,
I
right.
think they are looking serious. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
this is the year where it's like things are coming together. They are looking really, really tight. CNU, I think this is my. I look at them kind of the way you look at maybe not to the degree, but like Washington, where you're like, can you just show me some more consistency? Can you just
Right,
show me
right, right.
something more?
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. Again, it's more of a gut thing when I watch them. I'm like, you don't. I don't know. That's a tough one, I will say, for me, just because I'm like, it would be one of the things where if CNU showed up and did really well and they're at home, they win,
Right,
hypothetically, I
right.
could totally be like, yeah, I buy that.
Yeah, yeah,
I could totally see
yeah.
that. It just don't know who's showing. I just don't, I'm not sure who's showing up.
I think it's nice Colorado coming east
Yeah.
for
I think
this.
that's really
That'll be
cool.
that'll be a good move for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good game. So that's game number one.
All
Game
right.
number two. I love this game,
This is
and
such
and well, because you've been hearing me talk about him for the last 3 weeks.
yeah,
Rowan at Mary Washington. I
such a
I'm
good game.
excited for this one.
Yeah.
Mary Washington, obviously, they're
Yeah.
good. We know that. I think Rowan matches up with them well. I think
Hmm.
Rowan's going to give them fits. This is going to be an important game. It's going to kind of tell us a little bit about what Mary Washington has.
Yeah.
And then Rowan's schedule's brutal. I mean, we've talked about it many times. They're just playing everybody. They're playing the best teams they can, and they're playing a lot
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
So if they lose this game, no biggie. They got another tough game
Yeah.
next week. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
don't think this is a bad game for them. Yeah, win
no,
or lose.
no.
I think the one thing they're definitely at a point where they need these games. Right? You look at Kenyans, the Hopkins, like they're really going hard, and again, and then some of the Nescaks, they're really going hard at games. They're picking some really tough opponents, and I think this is one that they need. Um, and
This
I
is
will
a
say,
test for Mary
Rowan.
Washington.
Oh, totally. So
They
this is
haven't really been tested.
they,
They haven't had the toughest of
they
schedules.
were tested against Mount Union for about 10 minutes, but um, I think that's when they scored. Yeah. What did I say? I said it was my again. I took the 0 points in the pool because I went
Yeah,
with my heart. But what did I say? And I can pull it up again. I thought they would get 3, 4. I
I,
could totally see.
I had
Like,
3-0 in that game.
yeah.
Your purple team,
Yes.
The Raiders.
Raiders. No, now you're being respectful because we lost.
The Raiders, they did me in. They did me
They
dirty. I
did.
had three
Yeah.
nothing for that game,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
score a late goal to
I
make it
placed a
3-1.
phone call. I
Is
made
that
some
what it
phone
was?
calls mid game. I'm like, let it go. Come on. I got big money riding. Vegas odds.
Nice,
Um,
nice.
this is this is a really good game for Rowan because I will say, like, they've been hanging tough with just about everybody. The Salisbury game, I thought they did well. It just they got unlucky on
Right, right.
those 2 goals. Um, and to your point, I don't think I don't think Mary Washington has come up against somebody defensively like Rowan, who is really, really tough and tight in the back.
Yeah,
So
this is going to
a
be a
good
good,
match.
this is a really good test for Mary
Yeah,
Washington. It gives them an
yeah.
idea of, okay, where are they on the bigger stage?
Yes,
And like I say,
yes,
for Rowan, you know what, it's another great game. If we win,
yeah,
great. If we lose, whatever.
yeah. Right. They'll be
I
so
think that
primed for the NJAC. It's not going to be
I was
any
going to
fun.
say I
Yes.
think all their eyes are focused on the NJAC tournament.
Yeah,
They haven't won that in a couple years.
yeah,
They're gonna go in and want to win that.
yeah, yeah. I think it's going to be.
So
I think. I
that's a
wish it.
great Friday night game
I wish I could be there. That would be a fun game to be at.
down in Fredericksburg.
Fredericksburg. Yeah. All right.
Saturday. This is a
Saturday,
great game. This first Saturday game.
7 o'clock.
Chicago at Wisconsin Eau Claire. So Chicago lost the first game of the season,
Yeah.
to Gustavus Adolphus,
Yeah.
and they've kind of quietly, if you could fly under the radar as a top 10 team, they've flown under the radar for the last couple games, and they've won those last 4 games by a combined score of 16-2.
Yeah. I
That's impressive.
I was looking
Eau
at that
Claire
earlier.
equally. Eau Claire is 5-0-1, and they've scored 4 goals in 4 of those 6 games. 4 more goals. I think they even scored 5 once or twice.
Yeah.
This is going to be a really good game. I mean, I can see this being a 4-3 game.
I can see it. I can see it higher. Like
Yeah,
I'm not
higher,
kidding.
okay, yeah.
I watched. What was it? What was Eau Claire's? They played somebody. Ended up 5-4. Was it Aurora?
Yeah, yeah,
Aurora?
yeah,
Can't
yeah,
remember. But they ended up 5-4, and it was just like goal, goal, goal,
yeah,
goal. That was
yeah.
just
And
bizarre.
that would not surprise me to see that happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think this is a 1-0 game.
No. I will
But I
say
think
the
Chicago. Well, I was just going to say Chicago. I think everybody kind of forgot. Like, oh, they lost the first game of the season, then everybody
yeah.
forgot about them.
Well,
No, I mean, there's nothing to forget.
and
Chicago's
they
still
didn't.
Chicago.
They played. They beat St. Olaf, Kalamazoo, North Central, and they did it. They played Aurora. So yeah, they play Wheaton on Wednesday. So that should be. It'll be an
Yeah,
interesting. I think the cool thing about this game is you're going to see 2 totally different
yeah,
teams
yeah,
playing
yeah,
against each other. Like you
yeah.
couldn't have picked two different. Eau Claire is going to like pedal to the metal, go
Right.
forth. They're going to look to should I forget the kid's name. Their center forward, big, strong. Get him the ball. And let's get something done. And I think Chicago's going to try to move the ball around and make them chase all they to their heart's content. And can
Heck,
they do it? I don't know.
That kid at Eau Claire, he's got like 80 goals or something like that
Some in his career, yeah,
in his
yeah,
career. Yeah,
yeah.
he's a scoring
He,
machine.
he's he had like I think maybe three in that 5-4 shootout or something. He's
Probably.
really good.
I think he's got like 11 or 12 already this season. Crazy.
Yeah. So
Game two. Game two on Saturday, which is our fourth game.
yeah.
Case Western at
Mm,
Denison.
yeah.
I mean,
I'm ambivalent about this one. I'm just
okay.
kind of like it's a good game.
Yeah,
Don't deny it. I think these are two teams that are. I think Denison Moore is on its way up, and I think Case is trying to
right.
get back on that path.
I like the Coach Bianco angle on
Yeah,
this one though.
yeah,
You know, it's his old team, which he did
yeah,
wonders with when he was there.
yeah. When he was there, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he's doing wonders with Denison.
Oh,
Right?
and he is. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. I think
I
this is
think this is a
important.
good
I
game.
think this is an important game for each of them. Like, I think they need. I don't think a tie really does anything for them psychologically. I think
I still think Denison has to start
winning, yes,
winning consistently
yeah,
to get
yeah,
the respect
yeah,
that they're looking
they-
for.
yeah, yeah,
And like if they come out of this game be at 1-1, like go win
yeah,
this game 2-0. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Make a solid
Right,
statement for yourself
right,
against a good
right.
case team.
Yeah,
Right, you're obviously you're building towards something. They're getting some great recruits in. And we got the stadium going. And it's like they got us all these things going for them. Now you got to just chalk it up. Now you got to chalk up
yeah,
the W.
right,
Yeah,
right. Yeah, yeah,
I'm with you
definitely.
there.
Yeah. Next game. This one was interesting.
Yeah,
I found this one interesting. At least I did. Wabash at Hope,
yeah,
which you normally wouldn't think that this is anything of interest.
yeah.
Wabash is 5-0, which is their best start to the season since they were 8-0 in 2015.
The
They're picked to
research
finish.
you do
Yeah,
for
they're
this
picked
stuff.
to finish
People are not
fourth.
subscribing to this channel to watch Eric come up with these incredible statistics and other anecdotes that I'm sure he is going to raise in this particular game. I don't know what to say anymore.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, I did give you some anecdotes in this one. So
yeah,
let's go back to Wabash for a minute. So they were picked to finish fourth in their conference
yeah.
behind Ohio Wesleyan,
Was it?
which was third.
Yeah,
Um, so I'm not, Wabash isn't a historically strong team, but I'm going to give them, I'm going to give them some credit here. Don't sleep on them. I think they might have
yeah,
something going this year. And then Hope is 6-1 with a great 2-1 win over Ohio Wesleyan. So I think this is going to be a interesting matchup. It'll be
yeah,
a good test for Wabash to see how they actually are. And I think Hope needs to try and just continue to separate themselves a little bit. So it'll be good for that.
yeah.
So yeah, tickets are on sale. If you go to the website, tickets are on sale for this game. $8 for adults. Those that are 18 and under are only $5. And poster night, free giveaway, poster giveaway night at Hope. I don't know what poster they're getting, but hey, paying customers get a poster.
Listen to all the Dutchmen out there who will be at this game. All I have to say about this game, I'm not going to comment on either team. I think it's going to be a cracker of a game, no doubt. But my kingdom for one of the posters on poster giveaway night. And
Just send it to you. Yes,
I usually don't ask for free stuff. I
you
don't
need a
sit here and be
poster.
like, you got to get me this, you got to get me that because I'm talking. No, this is I am begging for somebody to get their hands on one of the posters. Email me for my address because if I can get that poster, I will find a way
Oh my
to
God.
display somewhere. Even it, even if I have to cover up the Barcelona
Uh, That is,
jersey.
I really have no idea what poster giveaway night is,
Yeah.
but it is
Oh, it's
poster
just like a
giveaway
Ronald
night.
McDonald poster or something like that. I have to hang a Ronald McDonald poster behind me.
Maybe next week is like bobblehead night or something. I don't know.
Yeah, a simple Coach bobblehead.
But yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Oh Lord.
So yeah, we'll see what happens there. At Hope.
Actually, I watched Hope the other day against Ohio Wesleyan, and I thought they did look good. Like, I don't think they're a slouch of a team. I don't think
No,
they were lucky. I thought they created fits and did cause the problems that Ohio Wesleyan just couldn't answer on the field. And
yeah,
I was kind of
it's a
surprised.
it's a good game.
I
I
don't
mean,
think,
like
yeah, yeah,
this isn't a top 10 game, but this is a
no,
good game.
good game.
This
Yeah,
is
yeah,
some. This
yeah,
is this is going to be a good soccer game.
yeah.
All right,
All
next
right,
game.
next game.
Welcome to the pool, Dickinson. Dickinson is at Washington.
Yeah,
Dickinson, who would have thought, right?
yeah.
6-0, great win over Messiah. As you mentioned earlier, Washington. I don't know
I
about
don't know.
Washington. What are
I
their
want to believe. You know what I mean? Like I want to believe because I thought they played like every other year they play some great soccer, and then I don't know if this is the year. Just
I
don't know.
I don't know. Are they good? Are they not
Yeah,
good? I don't know. Um, but this is a great kickoff to the Centennial
yeah,
conference games.
yeah,
Great matchup. Great
yeah.
first week matchup. Dickinson and Washington. These are these the teams that are going to be in the playoffs?
I
Does F&M not make the playoffs this year because you've got
yeah.
Dickinson and
Squeezes
Swarthmore
in.
and
Yeah,
Washington who
yeah,
squeeze in?
yeah.
I don't know.
That, so I will say again, and I'll get the hate mail from some folks. Dickinson made Messiah look pedestrian. Like they struggled against Dickinson, and I was not anticipating that at all. And I was surprised at how good they were able to play within the confines of a team against a team that likes to possess it a lot and run you off the field because they own it. So, I, go
We
ahead.
could have a whole conversation on Messiah and what's going on there. We
Yeah,
could spend a whole hour on that. They just lost again to
yeah,
Salisbury
yeah.
at home.
At home,
At home, they've
something's
lost
wrong.
two. They've
Something's
lost two games in a row at
yeah,
home.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. They don't look sure of themselves. You ever, right?
I saw some of that Dickinson game. They were
Like
uncharacteristic,
what are we
passing
supposed?
balls out of
Yeah,
bounds. Guys not where they were supposed to or
supposed to
usually
be.
are.
Yeah, yeah.
They were a little disjointed.
As someone who is a you know Messiah grad emeritus, just because I've watched a lot of their soccer because
Yeah,
I find it so enjoyable. I am going to say this is probably the worst game I've seen them play. Even the game against Ohio Northern that I thought, oh my gosh, they can't score. I thought they did well up until
right.
that point.
Hmm.
And they just did not look. It didn't look. They weren't. So, and then,
So
like you
well,
said, Washington College, they need to show for me,
yeah,
right? And
yeah,
this
yeah.
is and it's perfectly fine if this for whatever reason they're like Coach Dunshee is like it's the centennial. That is our whatever we
Hmm.
do outside of the centennial. That's for us to get into fit shape, all that kind of
Hmm.
stuff
Hmm. Hmm.
to battle it out in the centennial. Well, here it is.
Yeah,
This is the
there you go.
right like the this you got to show. So
Yeah, and this is a game where probably in the preseason he wasn't really too interested in saying, "Oh, well, we got Dickinson week one." Like
yeah,
that wasn't going to be a big deal.
no,
And now
no,
suddenly he's like, "Crap,
yeah,
Dickinson's
yeah,
6-0 and just beat Messiah."
yeah.
This is suddenly it's real now. You
I
know,
and I will say the other thing I noticed about Dickinson in that game against Messiah, it looks like their front line are like 6'5", 6'6", and then like 6'3", and they are monsters on the
Yeah,
ball. Like,
yeah, yeah,
so they're going to be a handful. But anyhow,
yeah,
I don't want
yeah.
to. So
So good game there. We'll see what happens. Oh, next one. John Carroll at Lycoming. So this is an interesting. I thought this one was interesting. You know, it's you got to think John Carroll's going to win. You know, they're 5 and
yeah,
1. They got a tough midweek game against Ohio Wesleyan before they go to Lycoming. You know, I think obviously they're probably the better team, but you know, Lycoming they're 4 and 1. They haven't played a great schedule, but they're an athletic team. I mean, they're playing with a new coach, so maybe they're adjusting well to that. Maybe you know he's found something in them. I'm curious to see how this one plays out. I don't think this is you know a 2-3-4 nothing game to John Carroll. I think Lycoming
hmm
gives them a real game. I mean, I could still see Lycoming winning, maybe you know 2-0,
yeah.
um, but it's not going to be because they dominated the game.
Yeah. I,
This is going to be interesting.
I yeah, I think again, this is a setup for the conference to me. I look at these games and I'm like, this is your
Yeah.
this is your like if you're John Carroll, you're like signing up or like Coming, you're looking at the other as this is who they represent in their conference game
Hmm.
to usher it in. Just so we can get a feel for okay, this is who we're going to play. And again, maybe I'm not saying they have to be of the caliber or what have you, but I do think both of them are looking at this as like, you know, like Coming is that Catholic, right? Like, are they playing against Catholic, and is John Carroll playing against some version of Ohio Northern? I don't know. I
Right.
haven't. I'll be honest. I've not watched Like Coming. I probably should, but they were not on my list to watch so
Hmm.
far. So I might
They're
be
they're
stretching the
they're
truth there,
a
but
they're a kind of direct,
yeah,
fast, physical team
yeah,
from what I've seen.
yeah,
Um, that's why I think that you know this is an interesting matchup. And to your point about conference play, I think Lycoming is looking at this as a great warm up for when they get into the landmark
yeah.
conference, which starts next week or the week after,
Next
or
week,
whatever.
yeah,
Because I think that conference is wide open.
yeah.
You know,
Oh, totally.
Catholic is not the
They look
same.
just blah.
Scranton, you know, new
Yeah,
coach. You know, they played Messiah well, but you know,
yeah,
who are they really? We'll find out.
yeah,
You know, you got Drew, who you know doesn't play the toughest of schedules, so it's hard to tell
mm,
what you're going to get out of them.
yeah,
You know, Lycoming, Elizabethtown, you know, their new coach kind of down a little bit. I mean, who knows what's going to happen this
yeah,
year?
yeah,
I think it's
yeah.
anybody's.
I think
So
that's so very true. This is probably the most could conceivably be the most competitive landmark. And say, I mean, I keep watching them, not because I think they're going to be next thing you know they're going to be in the simple coach top 25, you know, knocking Messiah out of the list, but even like Goucher shows up for games now, right? Makes it tough.
Goucher won. Didn't they win the ECAC last year? The you
Yeah,
know
yeah.
the NIT,
At
if
the
you will.
NIT of
Yeah,
D3. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, anyhow.
So yeah, who knows what's going to happen there? You know, I didn't see a coach's poll for the landmark. Maybe because there's six new coaches
Yeah,
and
they're
they
like,
like
I
I don't know who to
don't
pick.
know.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Well, I don't
Like,
know.
let's skip this one.
Right? Yeah,
This year we're out. We're good. Yeah, don't
yeah.
pick me
I don't
because
know.
I don't even
I
know.
don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
all right.
so next game, back to the NESCAC, back to Amherst, Middlebury at Amherst.
Yeah.
So Middlebury just thrashed Trinity 9-0. They played 28 kids in that game.
Are you serious? I didn't.
Yeah,
I don't know where you get these stats from, but I'm like, that is
28 kids
three
played
deep.
that game,
You've gone three deep in just about every position.
and including three goalies too. I think maybe it was two, it might have been three, but yeah. I mean,
Three
they
deep in
just
every position.
if you had a uniform on, you got on the field.
It's like the trainer got on at the
Right?
end.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Um,
Exactly. So you know, this is. I mean, again, you don't have to spend a whole lot of time. It's Middlebury, it's Amherst.
yeah,
It's you know two of the
yeah,
top teams in NESCAC. It's going to be a great game. Amherst is going to want to prove that they're
Yeah.
desperately want to reestablish themselves as the
Yeah.
dominant big dog in
Big
the
dude
conference.
conference. Yeah.
You
Come
know,
back. A
it's a
good
big
like make
right.
somebody suffer for the loss they had at
Yeah,
Williams.
yeah.
Like
It's a big game, but
yeah.
again, and I'll say this every time I talk about the NESCAC games, it ultimately this game doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's all going to come down to the conference anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So
I don't know if it was you. I read somewhere on the boards. Maybe was it you? Maybe somebody else. But where I started watching this game, the Middlebury Trinity game. I started taking notes, and if they're about 20 minutes, I was like, I can't do this anymore. And so and then I read somewhere that that after what Middlebury did, what they did to Trinity, knocking in the nine, that it was appropriate for Trinity to be relegated and
I
like
saw that. It wasn't me.
Division 4 or something like that. And I thought, and I heard Division 4 is not really like it's not easy. So they might not have a good go of it there
Can you
either.
can you just move them to like the new Mac or something?
Oh my gosh, like really, or somewhere, like it was bad. Anyhow, it was bad. Like I'm
Right.
seriously, like I feel for those kids who gone out
I
there
didn't
wearing the
see it.
Trinity
Yeah.
jersey, and they were just completely just run over, steamrolled. But the Middlebury Amherst game, I will say, Amherst is going to draw them into a battle, and I think Middlebury is probably has somewhere in their locker room the scenes after they lost to Amherst in the NCAA tournament that went
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
completely off the wire.
Yeah.
Where
Yep.
I have such issue with Amherst and some of the
Right,
things
right,
that
right, right,
happened
right,
and
right.
some of the things
Right.
that I was told. So that's why I think there's a lot of spice in this game that
Yeah.
could throw it all out the window,
Yeah, that's
more
fair.
so
That's
than normal.
right,
So,
right.
um,
Mm, well, that's I guess a game for you to
yeah.
watch.
All
Oh,
right,
my next
next up.
game. It's game number 7. So I think Montclair might have found their Lukovic replacement. They got this kid Sam Epitome. It looks like he's a transfer from West Point. He started 31 of 39 games when he was at West Point. He's got 5 goals in his last 5 games, including one in the 1-0 win against Moravian, and then two in the 2-0 win against Carnegie Mellon. So if
That's a decent win too against Carnegie Mellon.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So if he's turns out to be the real deal here, they're going to give Vassar a game. Vassar had a great weekend. They beat Cortland. Uh, so this is a good
Yeah.
test for both teams.
I
That's how I'm
I'm
looking at that one.
I am I don't it's so bad. Like I feel like I'm like a nattering nabob of negativity today for some reason. Like I'm like I'm not thinking really highly of Montclair in spite
No,
of
I know.
and I watched Vassar I think twice over the last week. I I think they look pretty good, and I think they could bring a
Yeah.
game to Montclair that they might not be expecting.
Well,
Um,
I definitely agree. I mean, I think Vassar's a team on the way up. I think they're hitting their
yeah,
stride. I think they're
yeah,
a good team, and that's why I say I think this is a good matchup for them because Montclair is good enough.
yeah,
They're not great. They're
yeah,
good enough, but I'm curious to see if this their newfound scoring ability without Lukovic if
yeah.
that's legit,
Yeah,
and they have to do it against a good
yeah,
Vassar
a
team.
good Vassar team.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, very true. Like the only that replacement becomes real is if he can knock in a goal or two against Vassar. I
Yeah,
would
I mean,
agree
so
with that.
I think this game tells us a lot. If Vassar
Yeah,
wins this game convincingly, then okay, they're legit and they're
yeah.
keep an eye on them. If Montclair gets a win out of here, okay, Montclair's figured out,
It's some
figured
way.
things out,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
are on the right path now.
yeah, yeah.
Because I
That
mean,
I agree
Montclair's a
with.
great team, even without Lukovic. I mean, they still have a ton of
They could
talent.
still, yeah.
I think it's taken them a while to figure out how are they going to compete without
Yeah.
him. And that's why I'm wondering if this Sam kid is the solution, is
Yeah.
the answer.
Yeah.
So that's why I think this game's interesting.
No,
It'll be
no disagreements there.
interesting to see what the Beehive says on this one.
That'll be, oh yeah, it's a tough game to call too.
Yeah,
Like it's just, again, Montclair's this way. There's too many questions, or excuse me, Vassar's going up. Montclair, there's too many questions, and yeah, like you said, they are still a very good team. But how do they handle this? I don't think anybody knows. Like
right,
you can't like consistently chalk up. Like I think last year, the last couple of years with Montclair, you're like, yeah, they'll figure out a way. They'll take it,
right,
and I
right,
don't think that's the
right.
case right now. I don't think that's
Yeah,
the
no,
case.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the deal's with this
Yeah.
one. So that's why it's interesting. I think this next game is interesting too.
All right. What?
Um, Babson at WPI.
Dude, like
Yeah,
this is the new
we're
Mac.
starting to get these good games.
So I'm gonna tell like there's more information I probably need to know. Like I was simple player number 2 WPI was one of his choices, and we went up for a visit at one point, and they kind of talked. A bunch of people just talked about different things about their program, and they said that the Babson game is always the game. Like
The
that
game.
is like the
Well,
game, the season game, the tournament game, and
so yeah, I mean the coaches poll, they've got Babson and WPI 1 and 2.
yeah,
The preseason coaches poll, Babson first place,
yeah,
WPI second place, and I think 4 votes for Babson, 3 votes for WPI.
yeah.
You know,
Like you
it's a
said, it's
coin
just
toss.
it's between us. It's like, and they don't like each other, from what I understand. I
and
mean, I
and
like
they're
each
both
other,
playing
like
well,
yeah,
right? And they're
yeah,
both playing well.
yeah, yeah. You're right.
This is a good game. And
Yeah,
it has huge conference implications, which makes it
yeah,
even more interesting.
yeah.
You know, like this is again where you're taking like two very good teams in a conference tournament and they're playing each other week one,
Early, yeah.
week one. You know,
Well,
it
you know
sets the
what? That's
tone.
not
It
a
sets
that's
the
it's a
tone,
tone. It sets a tone.
right? It sets
And
the
it
tone.
also gets it out of the way. You know, there's something
It
to be
does,
said about getting out of, okay, whatever the result is, and then concentrate on the 7, 8 other games that you got to deal with in the
right?
conference. And then, oh, if we have to circle back,
But
in
you
the
got to win
tournament
that game.
against each other. Yeah, yeah.
You lose
Yeah.
this game, and that
Oh,
sets the
no.
wrong
It's,
tone. Now
yeah.
you're chasing.
Um,
Yeah.
this is the weekend. This upcoming weekend is the split in the road, right? Like teams are all competing. The ones that are doing well, the ones that are 5-0, they're like getting these results 5-0 or 4-0-1. They're all getting results, and this is usually the weekend where you see like somebody wins, somebody loses, and they start to go like this. And the
Yeah.
guys who win sort of, hey,
Yeah.
we got this rolling, and then the
Right.
ones who lose end up full of doubt, and there goes their season.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
going to be
Yeah.
interesting to watch. That's definitely
So
that's on my list to watch.
those are the
Um,
10 games.
Eric, I don't
I
know where
think
you
I
pulled these ones from, but man, these are.
I think we're going to have a lot of consensus on these games. I think there's going to be a lot of 65%
Yeah,
winners here.
yeah,
Um, but it won't shock me if there's an upset or if we just get it wrong.
yeah. And I, what the cool thing about the lit, like you're this is pretty much. There are teams here that I don't necessarily think people are watching or seeing just because of where they're located, right?
Right.
Like I think I always
And
I
I
love that. I love seeing that. Like WPI and Babson, nobody was gonna aside from the posse on the boards, right? Like that gets
right.
these games. Outside of that, no one would
And
be
it's a big
thinking
game. I
about
mean,
doing. Yeah,
WPI was what are they? They were ranked
yeah,
12th going
yeah,
into the. I mean, they
yeah,
lost to
yeah,
they lost to Endicott, even though they
yeah.
outshot them like
Shot him.
30-5 or something.
Yeah, it was one of those
Um,
games. Cellophane on the goal, right? Like it's not
yeah,
going to
exactly.
matter what you do.
Right. right. But
So
yeah, I mean, these are good. I consciously try and do that. I try and pick games kind of around the country where there's an interesting story to it or an
yeah,
interesting game for it has implications or that are important for teams that people have heard of.
yeah.
I'm not picking Saint Mark's of Minnesota versus Podunk, Kentucky.
You
Because
could you could pull out some real,
oh,
just
I
some
might.
classic. Like everybody's been. I have no idea these
Well,
teams. I didn't even know they were things. Like I didn't know there were schools. You know, like
well, there's that comment with the Duke Everett. I never know how to say that Everett game
yeah.
where somebody on the board commented they laughed like, oh, I didn't know it was like Duke. I thought it was just some small Division 3 school somewhere.
How brilliant is that?
Yeah, I'm
You
like,
mean the
no, it was
Duke,
Duke. Yeah,
Coach
the Duke.
K? You
Right.
know,
Because I
he
think
was
he
in
had
the
like Everett winning like
stands.
1-0 or something like that. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Oh, Duke, Duke Christian College in
Right, yeah.
Northeast Nebraska or somewhere.
Right. Exactly. One of those schools. Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
So that's what so yeah, I could certainly maybe one day maybe one week I'll throw one of those random, middle of Nebraska teams. Nebraska Wesleyan. I know there's Nebraska
Yeah.
Wesleyan
There's
versus like
Illinois.
Iowa
Oh,
Wesleyan or something.
there's a Illinois Wesleyan, which is pretty. I don't know how their season. I thought they were pretty. No, I think yeah, I
You
think they're
you know what
okay.
what team I've been following and thinking about getting in here is Virginia Wesleyan. Speaking of the
I,
Wesleyans.
I yes, I have. You're not going to find somebody who disagrees. I think this is like they get so close and then they sort of dip. They keep doing
Yep.
this. Yeah,
Yep.
but
Yeah, yeah,
I'm a
they look
fan.
good, they
New
look good, and
Orleans.
then a disappointment,
Yeah.
and they look good and
Yep.
then a
At
disappointment.
this point, yeah.
So, I'll probably get them if they continue in that kind of.
Yeah.
I'll probably get them in the pool, later on in the ODAC season when there's a big game versus, Roanoke or
Yeah.
Lynchburg or something like that.
If can you help me out and just put games in there like where the other they have a bye and so it's pretty easy what I can guess the score so I could just pad my points.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put the pool together, and then I'll give you a special pool just for you.
Do I win?
It'll be games that have already happened, and if you
Oh,
were and if you
nice.
have the
And
recall, then
I'll still manage to screw that up.
yeah.
I totally. I'm like
I'll be like
pseudo semi
I'll be like
dyslexic. I'll switch the scores all around.
I'll say I'll send you a form. I'll be like, we got a real good
Real,
game coming up this week.
yeah,
You got to pay attention to it.
yeah.
It's ONU Colorado College, and I'm gonna go with the
Well,
next guy. I'm gonna go with Amherst and Williams. I'm gonna pick
yes.
that game for you, and just see how you do.
And see how I do.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll break 40 points some one way or the other. All right, Eric.
All right.
Like I've done in the past, I'll put the link to the registration for the week down below. I'll put the leaderboard link on d3soccer.fans. I'll set it up so the leaderboard, the registration, all those things are there. So
Awesome.
we're always gunning for 50 people and um, to participate. So that's
Yeah,
still
we're
the goal.
close. We're knocking on the door. If we get some of the regulars to return, like I say, for whatever reason, life gets in the
Yeah,
way, and some people just can't
yeah, totally get
can't
that.
come back. They miss it, and especially some people who are doing well, which was surprising.
Life or appendices get in the
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
That's usually
that happens.
yeah, whatever. But anyhow, so we'll get that up. Yeah, this should be up. I'll aim to do it tomorrow at some point. if it's okay to get it up earlier. You want me to wait till
Yeah, no,
Tuesday?
throw it up as soon as
Yep.
throw it up because I want to get the I got the
Yeah.
form. I sent you the link for it
Yep.
already.
Okay.
I want to get that form out to the
Gotcha.
interweb so
Okay.
all those board folks can
Hammer
talk
away.
about it.
All right.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right, brother.
Good talk.
This is awesome as always. Love chatting. It's too much fun. Too much fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this will be great. Thanks.
Good. We'll talk
Bye.
later.